London is one of the world's greatest cities, and we all dream of visiting the place at some point. The well-preserved Victorian buildings, the London Eye, and simply the charm of it beckons one and all. But many people are put off by the thought of bad food, surly people, cramped streets, and everything costing a bomb. How true are the stories about the town? Welcome to Traveltastic, and today we'll be taking a look at 10 misconceptions about London. Are you a fan of our videos? Please like and subscribe to this channel, and in the comments section, comment where you plan to travel to next, and we might just make a video about it next. Starting from number 10, let's dismantle one by one the myths about the historic city and the capital of the United Kingdom. Coming right in at 10. Londoners are ill-mannered. It's not difficult to see how the people who colonized half of the world have earned this reputation. Londoners in particular are considered unfriendly and reserved, if not hostile. In fact, even other Brits say that people in London are rude. In reality, Londoners aren't any much different from most people in the world, for that matter. Some social tests performed on the streets of London have proven that the city dwellers are prompt to offer help to anyone in need. So no, it's not that Londoners are unfriendly, but they are in a rush most of the time. In the fast-paced life of a global city, they might not get time to exhibit the warmth, which they do have inside. Catch them after office hours. Coming in at number 9, rats everywhere. This perception is a hangover of the London Plague of 1665. The urban legend has it that when in London, you are always within 6 feet of a rat. People who believe this fable start conjuring up the city's image as a place from the Pied Piper story. Though London has its fair share of rats, like any big city, it is unlikely that you will see any rodent all the while you are there. It's more likely that you're about 164 feet away from a rat on average, so you should be okay. Coming in at number 8, not the place for coffee lovers. Just like cat people and dog people, the world is divided into tea and coffee people. The UK has been traditionally a tea-drinking nation, and no wonder this puts off coffee-loving visitors like the Americans. The concern was indeed well-founded till the turn of the century, but things have changed. London's coffee scene is much more impressive now than it was in 2000. Major coffee chains like Starbucks can be found on almost every street corner, just like in any other major global city. In fact, both Europe's largest coffee chain, Caffè Nero, and the world's second biggest chain, Costa, have their headquarters in London. Coming at number 7, unsavory food. Britons are known for the proverbial upper stiff lip, and the lack of expression sometimes impacts the food, which is considered bland and boring. The concern isn't completely unfounded. For instance, London's traditional dish is a really thick pea and ham soup. Fortunately, modern-day London is a thoroughly global city. There are thousands of restaurants, including cheap takeouts to Michelin star restaurants, covering practically every culinary tradition you can think of. But to find London's best food, you'll have to take to the street. Since medieval times, London has excelled in innovative street food. Go there and grab your donuts and meat pies. Coming at number 6, the city never sleeps. New York has long been referred to as the city that never sleeps. Being its European counterpart, London too earned this tag of late. This has led to people creating fanciful ideas about London being a busy place with a vibrant nightlife. Prospective visitors who have kids might not find this image very soothing. While London does have a boisterous nightlife on weekends, things usually come to a halt by midnight on weekdays. Even in central London, the tube and regular bus services end at midnight and don't start up again until the early morning. Most pubs close before midnight, and at that point, the vast majority of Londoners will be heading to bed. In fact, the quiet outer boroughs of the megapolis feel like the countryside. Coming at number 5, cramped and dirty. London has been known as a dirty, old-fashioned Victorian city, struggling to meet modern standards of cleanliness. This view was further strengthened after the Great Smog of 1952. While studies have shown that London's air still affects people's health, it is relatively clean by modern standards. In fact, London doesn't even figure in the top 500 most polluted cities in the WHO list. Perhaps 47% area of the megacity is the green area covered with woodland, open area, and parks. This place is anything but filthy. Coming at number 4. Sign of the Flying Flag. You could queue up in front of Buckingham Palace to wave at the Queen if you see the Union flag flying on top. This is because you heard that when the flag is flying, the Queen is home. In reality, it's exactly the opposite. The flag is only up when the Queen is not present. This applies to her other royal abodes, Windsor Castle and Sandringham House. So choose to visit the museum instead when you see the flag up there. The Queen wouldn't mind. Coming at number 3, it's expensive. This is a well-founded notion. London is actually one of the most expensive cities in the world if you want to rent a house there, but it is possible to enjoy London on a small budget if you plan your trip smartly. You can have a day out in London and hardly spend any money. Most of London's world-leading museums are free to enter, as are its fantastic art galleries and parks. Other landmark places like the Botanical Garden will cost you barely $15.50 to visit. Similarly, you can find budget restaurants and pubs to have a great time there. Coming at number 2, the Tube is the only way around. The Tube, or the London Underground, started in the 1860s, and since then has become an icon of public transportation in the city. Millions of people use it every day and make it one of the world's busiest passenger railways. This is because the streets of London are difficult to drive through. But unlike many people think, the Tube is not the only way to get around in London. Red buses and black cabs are other popular options. And if you prefer to get around on your own, your best bet is the Santander Cycles, which you can hire from any of the hundreds of stations across the city. And finally, coming in at number 1, is the Sharia law zones. There was a widespread rumor in 2016 when Donald Trump claimed there were no-go zones in London. These are places where British law is ignored and locals are forced to follow Sharia law by Muslim councils. An urban legend developed around it and claimed that these are places where so-called ordinary Londoners, even members of the police, never go. There were even viral videos of Muslim youth intercepting Brits with beer cans, asking them not to drink in the area. All these eventually turned out to be fake. Then Mayor Boris Johnson categorically rejected such allegations and called London as one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the world. Well, we agree with him. You can go there confidently without a hijab or a skull cap. And we wrap it up here, folks. So what do you think about our list? Have you heard any other myths about London? Let us know down in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Traveltastic to never miss quality content just like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.